facts. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. I'm just sharing to a couple of groups here. Good morning, Pepe. Good to see you. This computer doesn't run very fast. That's why I quit using it. Well, I partially quit using it because my mommy bought me a new computer. 52, and I still call her my mommy. Because my mommy bought me something. Hey, man, what are you going to do? You know, sometimes we gotta be mama's boys, right? Morning, Jerry. It's good to see you. It's good to have everybody. Trying to think on what I could talk about beforehand and not necessarily waste time, but time here is never really wasted. But if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Good afternoon, Amy. It is good to see you. And of course, welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm usually the host. I'm always the host, which is fine. It's fine. Yeah, Amy's joining us. She runs the Together We Can Facebook page, and I recommend that you join it. It's a group a lot like mine, where we pretty much allow anybody to post what they need to post. This is about recovery. It's about it. That's what we could talk about a little bit. Is the we of the program? Okay, even our first step starts out with we admitted we were alcoholic. Okay. And we do this together. It takes a tribe. It does. It takes a tribe to get a man sober. Let me rephrase that, please. It takes a tribe to get a person sober. Okay. Try and change my speech on that a little bit. That way it includes more people. I don't mind doing that. And what it does is, see, when you do things like that, it makes you astute. You know, to include other people, doesn't it? What I did is I took it to a we thing instead of just a man. It is a person, right? Doesn't that go along with it a lot better? I think it does. You know, if you think about alcoholism, it certainly doesn't care what gender, what race. It doesn't care if you're LGBTQ. It does not care if you are the president's son. It does not give a fuck. Okay. And neither do I. Does that make sense? I don't care either. I don't care if you're LGBTQ. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who you are. I will help you. Right? There is no I in team, but there is me. But, all right, sorry. All right. But we do this together. Okay. And we try to do it alone. We think that we must master these things ourselves. And that's just not true. We've got to reach out for help. But that could be tough. Because sometimes it doesn't seem like you can find a safe space to do it sometimes. Right? That's what Amy and I do. We create safe spaces. Right? This is a safe space. You can talk here. There's nobody. I tell you right now, I ain't big enough for trolls to give a fuck about me. Okay? I'm not. So you don't have to worry about that either. So this is a safe space. It is a good arena for me to talk about the things that go on in our lives. So let's talk about immobilizing fear. Doesn't seem like it, but I'm going through this today. It is happening right now. Um, that's why I'm talking about it. And this is where I feel like I'm a lot different than everybody else out there. I come on and talk about my own damn stuff, not everybody else's. Okay? I pick hard topics. I do love the daily reflection, but it gets a little repetitive, and we need more topics. I have to come up with 365 topics a year. Okay? A lot of repeats, a lot of things like that. But let's talk about immobilizing fear. This is not the same kind of fear that I'm talking about that we talk about in the AA rooms. This is something that happens because of something that has happened in your past. Okay? I'm having a hard time going to work at a place that I love. Why is that? Why is it that we dread doing the things that we love? What are you doing back there? Kitty cats. Cat. Kitties. Kittens. They're playing right now. They don't want no love. No love. Sorry, I'm getting back to where I was. So I'm going through that. Why is it? Okay. So there was one time that I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna tell you the trauma right now is what I'm gonna let you know. Yeah. I've got three. There's a good chance it's a kitty cat. Hi Ingrid, we're just getting started. Beforehand, I was talking about the we of the program. So you're just in time. Um, so at one point I was in jail for my child support. Yes, I did jail time for my child support. Not that I wasn't paying, I was paying. I didn't show up to a review. See, they had taken away my license. I couldn't get to the review because if I went to the review, I would have been fired, wouldn't have been able to pay my child support. They had taken away my driver's license and pretty much any way for me to be able to get any kind of decent job. Wasn't it kind of them? They still do that. I'm gonna let you know now. Family support registry is not no. They are not for. They're not who they say they are. Okay. I've had caseworkers who are owed child support. Doesn't that sound like a little bit of a conflict of interest? And honestly, they don't support the fathers very well. They've gotten better at it. I will give them that. Anyway, so I went to jail and I was working for this company called Electronic Payment Systems. And they didn't give a fuck about nobody. They said that I could come back. I got a work release. I was gone for about a month and a half. Right. But it was cheaper to bring me back on and wait for me than it was to hire somebody because there's a lot of information in it. And I picked it up pretty damn fast. And I was pretty good at that job. Right. So they brought me back on, but they used and abused me. They took away my bonuses. Right. No bonus for Dion. Why? Because they knew that they could abuse me because I had to have a job. I did not. They knew I need to have that job. So they abused me. And that wouldn't be the first time. When I moved out to California to kill myself, I was going to drink myself to death. I ended up working for another company called Global Check Services, right? And they both had, I'm not going to describe what it was, but we went to court about this, and it was in the tune of $7 million. And I was asked to professionally be a part of this. I'm going to tell you what happened. 2 years of my life that I put into this thing. All that ever happened was that I got up on the stand and they just talked about my drunkenness. There again, I was being used and abused for somebody else's money while being kept down, while being restricted. And that is why it's hard for me to go to work. Okay. That's the very, very short version. This goes back to when I was 14 when my parents put me away because I had an anger problem. I didn't feel like I had done anything wrong. My dad didn't get put away. His anger problem was worse than mine. So how come he didn't get put away? You got to think this is the thoughts of a 14-year-old. 14. Okay. So when this stuff happens to me, I'm 14 again. And I've been having a hard time going into work. I fear it. I am immobilized. I can't get in the car. I'm dressed for work. I couldn't do it. I'm not asking for sympathy on this. Okay. The reason I'm talking about it is because I'm not the only person that goes through it. And we've got to stop fearing talking about our feelings and what is going on with us. Because otherwise we'll never move forward. We won't be able to get the answers that we need. I know what the answer is. I figured it out. Right. So on Monday, I'm doing EMDR around this. I've already done something about it. Okay. I figured this out last week. And my therapist was like, wow, okay, yeah. So we're going to start doing some EMDR on that. I don't know whether I don't know whether they're going to keep me. But I tell you that I'm okay. Before I started, I do want to let you know that I told them I go through this. And I told I'm going to go through fits. Right. So I've been very honest with my boss on what's going on. My boss is a therapist. Okay. And I told them, this is what I'm going through. If you will be patient with me, I will get through this and we can get this done. Right. Whether they're willing to do that, I don't know. And that's on their plate. Okay. But the thing is we can't go living life like this the rest of our lives. That's not fair. That's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to anybody that goes through it. Okay. There are sometimes like this. I'm very energetic. There's people around, right? But as soon as I get off here, a lot of times I crash. And I'll sit here and stare at my keyboard for 15 minutes. Does that happen to anybody else? And I can't move for a little bit. My brain has so many things going on in it, it doesn't know what to do sometimes. And me being an idea man, this drives me crazy, right? Because I have a lot of ideas. In fact, that's what I'm called now, the idea man. I don't like being called the idea man. That implicates that I don't get anything done. I don't like that. It actually kind of ticks me off. Oh, but you come up with great ideas. That's great, but if they're not being implemented, don't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything. It means know a ting. It's exactly what it means. Know a ting. Ah, okay. Um, and this will happen with things that I even want to do. Um, like my podcasting. I love doing podcasting. I love sitting down and talking with these people. But I go through anxiety before, like bad anxiety, right? A lot of times I walk around with, well, lately, saying that it's lately I've kind of, I feel like the other shoe's just going to drop at any moment. And that isn't fun. So, but let's talk solution on this. Let's talk solution because I could give you plenty more examples, but I think you understand. I think you understand what I'm saying. Okay. And, and I don't even know that it's fear because I'm not necessarily scared of anything. I just don't know. I just plain don't know. What am I going to do today? What can I get done accomplished today that's going to help everybody? That's what constantly goes through my mind all the time. And I have to admit, it's still a much better place than my drinking. Instead, I'll go with that too. That it is still a much better place than my drinking. So, what are some of the solutions? Well, therapy. Therapy is the solution that I know of. Okay. Um, I know that there are some bad therapists out there. I know that some of us have not had the best time with therapists, but let's remember back to were we being honest with them? Because let's remember, a therapist doesn't solve your problems. You have to solve your own damn problems. A therapist is a guide, a person with a helping heart that wants to help you become a better person. I apologize that my phone's kind of going off. I'm in a group that likes to talk a lot. Actually, give me a second because they're gonna go crazy here. I mean, like crazy. Notifications off. Back to Instagram. Okay. Sorry about that, Instagram. I just had to pause. I had to turn that off so that you didn't keep hearing boop 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 boop. EMDR is a great way to work on some of this trauma. No, I think I'm gonna read the daily reflections real quick and we'll wrap this up. It's not over there. Say the 14th. We might as well use this one then because I'm missing that page. I can't find it. The book is so busted up that the page is just gone. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Kathy. All right, October 14th. Fundamental progress has to do with the reinterpretation of basic ideas, wrote Alfred North Whitehead. Whoever that dude is, right? He must have been somebody. When we review the ups and downs of our recovery in the program, we can see that the truth of that statement. And that statement being fundamental progress has to do with the reinterpretation of basic ideas. In other words, we're changing the brain. We're changing what our thought process. We're changing our muscle memory. We're changing everything. Almost almost everything about us. There are some things in us we don't need to change that are good. We do have good attributes. It's just that we use them incorrectly, right? Where manipulation can be turned into, well, not manipulation, because I just can't think of another word, right? So we can turn that into not manipulating people or helping people using those same skills. Because you know what those skills require manipulating? It requires a basic understanding of human reactions and emotions. And you have that. Did you know that? You've been doing this all your life. You didn't even know it. How do you think you're so good at taking other people's inventory? Why do you think you're so good at it? Because you have a skill and you are using it wrong. Well, you're probably not using it wrong anymore, right? That's a good thing about it. This is about what did he say? Um, Reinterpretation of basic ideas. We make progress each time we get rid of an old idea. Each time we uncover a character defect, right? I uncovered one today with my work. Okay. Now, I want you to think, but strike that because it's not a character defect. Trauma is not a character defect. Okay. Fear is not a character defect either. Okay. We outgrow fear, it is not removed. Okay. How do we outgrow fear? We gain more courage. These are we tend to think of them wrong because we always gain more, not get less of. That we always gain more of something because these character defects need to be replaced by something. Otherwise, you just have an empty field of nothingness. And that's really not going to do you any good. That defect removed and then humbly ask God to remove it. We make progress one day at a time as we shun the first drink, the first pill, the first addictive act that will so quickly swerve us from the path of despair. Have I considered the progress I've made since I've come into the program? This is what I like about Hazelden. They include everybody, right? Hazelden, I've always loved Hazelden literature. All right. Love it. Love it. Did I mention that I highly like it? All right, I'm losing people, so let me finish this up and I'll let you guys get back to your day. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. May I remember that there are few new ideas in this world, only old ones reinterpreted and restated. Oh my gosh, I have to talk on this, guys. I I gotta I gotta because there's a lot of people out there reinventing the wheel. There's no new way to get sober. There's only one way to get sober. Stop doing it. There's multiple pathways to recovery. There's only one way to get sober. Abstinence. That's the only answer. It'll always be the only answer. It's the only thing I've ever seen work. Okay. I'm talking about hopeless alcoholics and addicts. Okay. Not people with a drinking problem. We are problem drinkers. Different. Different. There are some people out there where it affects their life a little bit. They're like, you know what? I'm going to go sober for the month of October. They loved it. So they don't drink much anymore. Okay. That's what we call sober curious. There are some people out there that don't want to put alcohol in their bodies. My brother in law is one of them. He has never had a drink of alcohol in his life. Okay. Doesn't want alcohol in the house. He thinks it's bad. I mean, he's correct. Okay. So that's why I always reinforce AA because it is the one way that I know of that can work for anybody if they are willing and honest and open minded. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to force them that way. Okay. But I've never, ever, 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 ever once had somebody ask me to send them a different way. And I tell them about it. I'm like, there's smart recovery, there's celebrate recovery. Okay. There's wellbriety. Wellbriety is pretty cool. I think I'd have to look a little bit more into it, but I've seen some good success with it. But nobody ever asks me. I bring these things up. They're like, no, AA. All right. All right. May I always be conscious that even the big things in life, like love, brotherhood, God, sobriety, become more finely defined in each human life. So may the 12 steps of the program be redefined in each of our lives as we keep in mind that basically these are time tried principles which work. Time tried principles that work. Alcoholics Anonymous has been around since 1987. What are you talking about? Alcoholics Anonymous has been around for 87 years. Sorry. I got to laugh at that. I laugh at that stuff because it just comes out funny. It's my dyslexia. Yeah. Actually, I appreciate my dyslexia because I do very good Yoda impressions because of it. It's very easy for me to do Yoda. My throat hurts right now, so I'm not going to do it because I have to go very, very high. Today I'll remember the 12 steps work. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. It was good to see a lot of faces. We had some people that had to go and stuff. Perfectly fine. That's what this is here for. Come in, take what you need, leave the rest, and have a great day, right? We had Pepe, we had Patricia. It was good to see you. Kathy was here. We had Ingrid and Amy and Jerry. A great group today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. I really do. Oh, we didn't claim spiritual progress. I haven't done that in a few days. Maybe that's what's wrong. Everybody ready? Good job. All right. Peace out.